The question that we've been asked is, how can I multitask in uLaw and how can I record them as dockets? To do that, I'm going to show you what we have inside a feature called Scratchpad. To open Scratchpad, let's click on this small black button and open Scratchpad. Now this is where you can do multiple tasks. Let's say you're doing some document drafting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with document drafting, right? And when I'm doing that, what I can do is I can just start my timer. And here my timer is going on. It's telling me my starting time. And as the clock is being ticking, it continues to measure time as you're doing your document drafting. Let's say you drafted for about 6 minutes or something like that. You can just pause and hit the docket button. And once you've done that, you can now take an action and you can say, what you want to actually do. But you can say, I want to add an event. And you can say, hey, this event, I'm going to add it to this matter. Hit the save button. Now, what you could do is when you're actually working on one thing, something else can happen. So let me add another row. Let's say I was doing document drafting again, right? And I had the timer. As I was working on this client, suddenly what happened was I got a telephone call. So in that case, what I can do is pause, hit the docket, so it records it for that rounded 6-minute interval, add a new row and say, hey, I had a telephone conversation, and start the clock. Now, if you do that, what happens is this is the telephone conversation that you started having, at this time that gets recorded. And as it's going and it's completing, you can do that. Now, once it's completed, you can docket. But now when you come back to document drafting, we will start you off at 6 minutes rather than at 0. So if I would continue from here and continue my document drafting, how much ever time I would take. Let's say I took, another 12 minutes and I would hit the docket. You would see now uLaw added the previous 6 minutes to the new time interval and showed you as 18. Similarly, the same thing with telephone conversation. You basically hung up the phone, you went away and then recalled the client and you talked with them. Let's say this time you talked with them for say about 24 minutes and you're already talked for 6 minutes, and when you actually hit the docket button, it'll add up to 30 minutes. What uLaw does in this feature is allow you to be completely multitasking. You don't have to kind of say, I did this work, I have to switch to this matter. Now, once you've docketed all these things, you can start taking actions on them. You can say, hey, this one, add an event with this one. And then in this one, you can say, hey, this actually belongs to this matter, and hit the save button. Now, similarly, you can take an action on the telephone conversation. You can say, hey, add this one, and this one actually belonged to, Adam Silverstone matter, Adam Mrs. Steffi, and hit the, this one is a closed matter, so it's not allowing me to do that. But let's say I'll pick an open matter, let's say this one, and then hit the save button, and now it allowed me to do that. So as you saw here, uLaw allows you to be completely multitasking within the system, where you can keep raising your clocks. If you switch between one matter to another, all you need to do is just keep clicking away and it'll add on to your previous docket. To summarize, what I'm going to show you is under the black small down arrow, you have Scratchpad daily dockets. This is where you can add as many rows as you want, and you can keep starting your clock. What uLaw will do is every time you pause and hit the docket button and again restart, it will start your clock from the previous. So when I go back and redocket, it will add on to what it actually has.